Hi. So, do you know that coordinate geometry is a bridge between algebra and geometry, and it has a fascinating history rooted back to the 17th century, um, with lots of magnificent facts, what we take as granted in the current times. So, to share a few with you, uh, the French mathematician René Descartes uh, claims and actually figured out while observing a crawling fly on the ceiling, he actually gets the credit of inventing what you popularly know as Cartesian plane. So he actually figured out with his research, with his work, that the location of the fly could be figured out by finding out the distance from the walls, which you now know as axes on the Cartesian plane. Interesting, isn't it? Also, this was happening in the middle of the 17th century. And at the same time, another French mathematician called Fermat was working on similar lines, though his works got published a bit later. But at the same time, he was working on the three-dimensional aspect of coordinate geometry. And while I say this, there was another scientist and a mathematician called John Willis. He actually gave us, with his works and the research, and gave us an extension on the negative coordinates and the negative side of the Cartesian plane. So that credit goes to Professor Wallace. And he also wrote all of this and his findings and his research in a book called Conics. Also, to add to it, uh, while he was working, professor and mathematician, and he was a philosopher as well, René Descartes, the French mathematician, he gave us what we now popularly know as abscissa, the x coordinate, ordinate, the y coordinate, etc. And all of this got published, uh, in by another mathematician who published his works in Latin, much about at the time 1655. So I hope this was interesting to know that who has been behind invention of the Cartesian plane. Thank you. We'll catch up again. Bye-bye.